What's up, guys, and welcome back to Dangerously Deep. My name's Dana, and this is the show where I go dangerously deep. Okay, so as you read from the title, this episode is about how Tana Mongeau changed my life. No, imagine if I didn't even know. I was just using her name for clickbait, didn't even know her. I want to talk about the way that Tana Mongeau changed my life. If you're not a Tana Mongeau fan, this video is probably going to be boring as hell. But, my bad. Find another one. I understand how unbelievably parasocial that sounds and how parasocial it is and how parasocial this whole video is going to be. But I don't think there's anything wrong with being parasocial if you're not a fucking freak about it and go stalk people and don't understand that they don't know who the fuck you are. So I am parasocial about Tana Mongeau, and I will never shut the fuck up about it. If you don't know who Tana Mongeau is, basically she's a YouTuber who's been posting online for over 10 years now. That means that I've been following Tana Mongeau since I was 9. I'm 20, almost 21. Depending on your thoughts on Tana Mongeau, your opinion on that might be, oh my god, you shouldn't have been consuming that content at that age. If you're me, it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. First of all, it made me fall in love with this and with content. And even though I'm not rich and famous yet, hopefully I will be, and it'll be because of her. I mean, other than, I've been chronically online since I was 7 years old, so if it wasn't for me discovering Tana Mongeau, I probably would have been like, Law DIY, Dana DIY. Honestly, that has a ring to it, and maybe I should start crafting. But yeah, Tana Mongeau truly made me fall in love with YouTube on a whole different level, even though I was already an iPad kid to the max. But she was so different to anyone I had ever watched because she was so real and so honest about everything and about her mistakes and about stuff that had happened and real shit that she was going through. And I think, like, as a kid that went through real shit a lot earlier than anyone I knew about anyway, like, it wasn't something, nobody's really chatting to me about the way Tana Mongeau, like, talked and explained and talked about life and, like, her experiences. Nobody's talking to a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old like that. But because I was I was going through real shit at those ages and my entire high school life, and still till this day, when will I get a break? Having someone who, like, it was like finding a real person, like, obviously not there. I absolutely love the people in my life, and I was so lucky in the way I was raised. But it was so different because, my dad is on his lunch break and just parked next to my car and said, "Ooh, I thought someone was trying to steal your car." For an example of a way in which it really connected with me is, even though there were a lot, I have very bad generalized anxiety disorder. I have my entire life. Although I hadn't been explained what it was, and nobody had, like, ever taken the time to be like, some people don't feel the normal 10 emotions, right? Some people have add-on ones. And I had never met someone, or at least nobody had ever talked to me about these huge feelings that you can feel and that some people feel. And I was having panic attacks, and I was feeling anxiety, and I was feeling depression, and I was feeling trauma and all these things. And I felt like I was going crazy. And I know that seems dramatic because I was like 13, but I did. I was like, why am I feeling this way and no one else is? And, like, what is wrong with me? I was so hard on myself about the way in which I acted and reacted, because I am a very, very emotional person, which I will get into because Brooke Schofield also changed my life, but obviously that's a little bit later. This video is mainly about Tana Mongeau because Brooke I discovered them together maybe 16 years old. Anyway, she was the first person that I could watch on the internet and discovered that felt like they were talking to me about these big emotions that they felt and these things that they would do. And one of the things in my anxiety that I have always struggled with is like, if I do anything wrong, if I make any mistake, if I am not a perfectly good, moral, smart, kind, I need to be the perfect human to everyone else around me, or it truly feels like I am the devil himself. If I hurt someone's feelings, if I make someone feel upset, if I get a bad grade, if I am not a perfect human, it takes a fucking toll on me. And Tana Mongeau would talk about her mistakes and talk about shit she did and how she came back from it, and that it's okay to make mistakes, and that she's going to learn and she's going to grow and she's not going to do it again and she's going to get better. And even if she did do it again, it's still all a learning curve. And oh my God, I was like, thank God, it's okay. I'm not the only one that makes mistakes. And obviously, like, I had seen other people do shit in my life, but for some reason when I would mess up, it was so much deeper. I wasn't in therapy or anything. No one was like, Dana, it's okay. Like, yeah, you did this thing, and I understand that, like, you feel so bad about it, but just do better and grow from it and whatever. And obviously that's not something I can totally get from my parents, because if I did mess up and do something wrong, it was like, I do have to be parented. But, and no fault of theirs at all, because you have to parent your child. But because of the way my brain is, it just confirmed to me all the things I was thinking that was so overly dramatic and not true. But them being like, oh, don't do this, you shouldn't have done this, confirmed to me that, oh my God, I am the worst, and nobody would have ever done that, and I'm the only person that's ever made this mistake, and I'm the worst, and oh my God, horrible thoughts. And I felt like Tana Mongeau, it was like the only place, see, again, this is so parasocial, but she was the only person she was the only person ever that made it feel like zero judgment. Like, no matter what you do or could have done. I mean, obviously, and this is another thing, but I'll get into that. Don't worry. That made it feel like zero judgment, and that no matter what I did, it was okay. I would grow from it and I would do better, and it's okay. People make mistakes. And oh my God, it made me sane. No, it didn't. No, that took therapy, medication, a lot of things, but it fucking got me across. It got me through. Like, it was like at least something that I had to help me. Even though there was not much else, it was something I had to help me. And Tana Mongeau also, no matter what you think about her, or through every mistake she's made, she truly cares about people, and she truly wants to be a good person and has good morals. That was also another thing, was that, like, she would make these mistakes and be like, don't learn from them. This is what I learned from them. She would make these mistakes and be like, don't do what I did. This is what I learned from it. And I feel bad about this. And this is how it impacted other people. And she thought all the same ways that I did. Whereas, like, the other way to think about your mistakes is like, oh, give a fuck, right? Like, who cares? Oh, well, shit happens. But I can't think like that. I'm not built like that. I care. I care about everything. And Tana Mongeau cared. She cared, and she was like, I fucked up and I'm sad about it and I want to be a good person. Her morals were so in line, and then she's such a good person and she's amazing and she has this amazing career, and she still makes mistakes and shit still happens to her, and she goes through all these hard things, and I would learn from what she was saying and be like, oh, yay, it's okay. And that sounds crazy and embarrassing, and I don't give a fuck, because I was fucking 12, and she was the only thing that made me feel like I wasn't insane. And then Brooke Schofield gets into the mix, because love Tana. Absolutely love Tana. She is my day one, but we are very different people. I am I feel like I can relate more to Tana now that she's sober and, like, whatever, grown, than I could have at the time, even though I connected with her so much anyway, but she would do these crazy things and whatever, and that's just not me. Like, I am a rule follower, I am anxious, I am stressed, I am OCD traits. I haven't been diagnosed with that one, so I've got to be careful with that. And then they started the Cancel podcast, and Brooke Schofield started to talk about BPD. And although I do not have BPD, I have emotional dysregulation, and depression and anxiety, and it got very, very bad when I was in high school. And emotional dysregulation is a symptom, and it's a symptom of BPD. So it's like one of the traits of BPD. And oh my God, again, it was somebody who would, like, in a way I had never, because I found them before I had been to therapy, anything. And oh my God, that's probably what made me go to therapy, because for the first time in my life, I was like, I had never been able to explain how I felt and why I felt that way and what was going on, and these huge emotions I was feeling that I've never met anybody that feels the way I do. Truly, I've never met anybody that feels so deeply, and it's amazing, and I'm kind, and I care about people so much, but God, when you feel sadness, when you feel regret, when you feel guilt, when you feel anger, you feel them so deeply, and it is so hard. It is so hard, and then you react in a way that I don't know if you guys know what splitting is, but when you go into this state of the reaction to this huge, huge emotion that you're feeling, because you feel sadness by a million, and you react to that sadness if something tiny happened, like somebody died, and then you get out of the splitting phase, which is feeling that huge emotion, and you step out of it, and you calm down and whatever, and you look at your reaction, and you look at the situation, and it's completely unjustified and like not how you wish you would have reacted, but you can't, without tools and help, I couldn't control it. And she was the first person I had ever heard that was like, I feel these huge, huge, deep emotions. And she talked about what BPD is, and what just the way she would talk about the way her brain thought and the way her brain worked. I was like, oh my God, wait, guys, it's not just me, and I should go to therapy and get help. And then I did, and therapy was amazing. But I honestly think, in a way, the Cancel podcast was therapy for me, which is a little crazy considering they also talk about anal. So my therapists didn't do that. But yeah, and truly, truly changed my life and made me, truly still to this day, the amount of comfort that those two women bring me, I have never felt from anywhere else. And that is embarrassing to admit. But maybe it's because they're older and because they've been through very hard shit and because they've been through therapy. But I don't know many people that think the way I do. And so introspectively and so, God, I psychoanalyze myself every day. It takes up every ounce of my energy and the time I have in my day. All I have ever done is psychoanalyze myself and overthink and whatever. And they were the first people I had seen or heard that thought as deeply and as in such a complicated, crazy way about our brains. And obviously there are millions and millions of people, I realize now that I'm an adult, but I was 14 and all I watched was YouTube. So, yeah. And oh my God, it was it almost fostered an environment where I became the person I am, because I think had I not had anyone tell me that this is normal and that other people feel this way and that it's okay, this is life and people go through shit and everyone gets dealt different cards. If I hadn't heard that and seen that, I would have, I think, had a very different life, because before I cross my heart, hope to die, before I saw who Tana Mongeau was and saw who Brooke Schofield was, I hated myself. Because it was so wrong to me, the way I was reacting and the way my brain worked. I had never met or heard of someone like me. And I was so angry at myself for why am I so stressed and anxious and nervous and overthinking, and I'm so dramatic and I'm such a baby, and oh my God, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Get over it. Why are you so dramatic about everything? And like, they made me realize that it's just because I'm different. And like, obviously you need to work on that and you need to get help and get better for your own sanity and for the people around you. But there are other people that deal with this and they're okay and they get through and they make mistakes and pick themselves back up and go through shit and they're okay at the other end. And oh my God, it gave me something I needed at that age. And that is why I want to do social media. Truly, that is my calling in life, is to be somebody's Tana Mongeau. To be somebody's Tana Mongeau, because truly, I don't want to say I wouldn't be here without her, because again, she doesn't know who I am. And I also want some of the credit for, you know, making it through depression and generalized anxiety disorder. But she had a huge impact on me and the way I felt about myself and the way I understood myself. And I would love to help someone else and be that person for somebody else. And yeah, anyway, that's all. I have work in like 20 minutes. That's also why I want to be Tana Mongeau, because I'm sick of a 9-to-5, okay? I love social media, and I'm doing both. Like, I feel like I'm working 2 jobs. Like, can I just be an influencer? Anyway, thank you all for watching this episode. I'm sorry if it was so boring and if it made no sense to you, because you don't know who Tana Mongeau or Brooke Schofield is, but I do, and they are everything to me, and they are my Roman Empire, and I could talk about them forever. So, anyway, thank you all. Goodbye.